plays be reviewable?
Yes, they should. And everything I'm about to tell you, Mr. Sharp, is straight from my heart because I love this game. You love this game. I've covered it since 1974. Most of my greatest moments covering the game came from this game, not from basketball or baseball, but from this game. It is America's pastime, replacing baseball to me.
Yeah.
And so all I want is the best for this game. And what happened Sunday in New Orleans was wrong. And it wrongly decided which team went to the Super Bowl. To me, New Orleans would be in the Super Bowl if the correct call had been made. If one flag had flown, we'd be having a different conversation right now. So for me to hear a lot of Hall of Famers, you, Eric Dickerson, just shrug and say, that's just football, it happens. I get that, but I can't accept it in the end because the National Football League has to be better than that. They have to find a way to fix what happened Sunday. And the only thing I know for sure is we have the technology in place. We have the highest definition from every angle. So it's not the problem it was in the 70s or the 80s when it was grainy, it was a little shaky, we didn't really have all the right angles, it was harder to call. Now we can get it right, but we have to take the time to get it right. So the first fix that I can see, the only fix that I can see to start with, this is only a start, is only in the last 2 minutes and overtime should every on-the-ball play down the field that could or couldn't be pass interference, it should be reviewable. Every on-the-ball play. I'm not talking about offensive holding, offensive line holding, or defensive hold away from the ball. I can't deal with those because it gets too complex, complicated, time-consuming. I'm talking about on the ball because the most drastic penalty in all of football by far is what? Pass interference in pro football because it's a spot foul. It can be a 70-yard penalty. It can be a 20-yard penalty, whereas in the game you often cover, college football, it's just a standard 15-yard penalty for pass interference, right? So if you just go to, this should go right to the booth. Any down the field play in the last 2 minutes, on the ball play that could or couldn't be pass interference, called or uncalled, you need to take a quick look at it. It's the way they do it in the NBA with any out of bounds play in the last couple of minutes. You just look at it. Does it slow the game down? Yes, it does. I just want it to be right. Get it right. The lengths of games, they're great in pro football. They're not so great in college football, but nobody seems to care. By average, college football games last year went 16 minutes longer. It seems like they're 45 minutes or an hour longer than pro football games. Would it extend some games? Maybe a little bit, but it's okay because you just are going to get it righter than you got it here. If you had that in place on Sunday, if you got to take a quick look at any down the field spot foul with the ball, you would have taken one look at this, the head referee or the replay official or New York, right? They would have taken one quick look. It would have taken 30 seconds and you would say, oh, we missed that one. It was pass interference. It was blatant. It was helmet to helmet, face guarding, whatever you want to call it. And a wrong would have been righted, right? So why not get that right? Why not improve the game that we love the most? That's a small fix. That's a start that I don't think would open a Pandora's box for all these other penalties.
I do. And again, I don't think it should be because, again, you're doing everything in your power to make it more favorable for the offense. So let me ask you a question. Should Andy Reid been able to challenge that Chris Jones unnecessary roughness on Tom Brady?
Well, I told you I can't start with those.
Why not? That was an important play. That gave him 15 yards.
Okay, but it didn't decide the game on a down the field.
How do we know?
Okay.
It might have been 3rd and 25 as opposed to 3rd and 10.
Okay. I'm just saying it's more drastic. These are the most drastic calls down the field.
Because Skip, you open now. You're going to open a Pandora's box. See, I don't believe instant replay should be used to officiate ball games
at all.
Replay should be used to help. Skip, if he didn't make the call, he didn't make the call. You see, they've already taken it out as far as like scoring plays and turnovers because you remember that Thanksgiving Day game, Justin Forsett, his knee was down. He gets up out of there, and he couldn't challenge it.
Okay.
They're like, whoa, wait a minute. Why can't you just gave him a touchdown that wasn't a touchdown? Now they changed the rules to all scoring plays, all turnover plays. We're going to take it out because take it out of your hand, coaches. Skip, no, not on things that were not called. You can't throw a penalty. Skip, I can't.
It doesn't matter whether it was called or not called. We all agree that it was the most egregious non-call in the history, probably, of sports.
It was a mistake.
Right? Okay.
Along with a lot of other mistakes.
Oh, it was just a mistake. It was the mistake that decided the game to send a team to the Super Bowl.
If you don't mind me asking, who got the ball first in overtime?
New Orleans did.
So what happened?
The game could have been over. It would have been over.
It could have been over in overtime.
Yeah. Well, that's not true.
No.
It would have already been over. You're doing a hypothetical. I'm not doing a hypothetical. I'm doing a fact.
You said
that they would have kicked the field goal at the worst and given you the ball back with 15 seconds.
They might have pulled the Seattle Seahawks and threw the ball and got it intercepted.
You know, but,
so you see
the odds are way. This would have been a 98%.
Okay. I need 100, and you can't give me 100. No, Skip. The guy made a mistake. Yes, it was a penalty. It was pass interference. It was helmet to helmet. But we cannot use replay.
I'm surprised that you like this because you're saying that you love football, but you're okay with this non-call.
No, I'm
because it's just football. It's just part of football.
I'm okay with the human element in football.
As Jerry Jones used to say, human frailty. He said, we love human frailty because he thinks that sells football because it's so controversial that it creates more buzz if it's not right. You see what I mean? Like you get it wrong and we're still talking about it on what's today? Wednesday.
But somehow I think Jerry was talking about human frailty in another form.
No, he's just talking about selling the game. He's talking about marketing football, right?
Yes. But Skip, I do not believe that replay was meant to do what you want it to be done to do now. And that is to help to officiate officials that didn't make a call. Because my thing is now I want to replay. So if I'm Sean Payton, if not Sean Payton, if I'm Sean McVay, hey, y'all missed that face mask on Jared Goff. So instead of being second down, they supposed to be first and goal. They tackled Brandon Cooks by the face mask. You remember that on that long pass up the sideline. Skip,
I'm just talking about the last 2 minutes. These are game deciding down the field.
No.
Plays.
Yep. But here's the thing, Skip. What if it's fourth down and it's 2 minutes and 10 seconds?
I can't stop that. I'm just trying. This is a start. This will help a little bit. It would have stopped that. It would have righted that wrong on Sunday. Yes, it would have.
Because I can't. You're making it more favorable. It's already difficult for a defender to play. And now, because you have the defenseless receiver, you have the incidental contact, you have a very small target in which you can hit Tom Brady. And even though the guy Chris Jones didn't hit Tom Brady outside that area, they still threw a flag.
Okay, but on the same play, I promise you, if I show you the replay of that, Edelman gets just clocked. He gets knocked down. It's blatant pass interference on the very same play at the simultaneous time. Well, it's too complicated. I don't want to start with that.
Well, it's complicated because something might have happened on the other side.
Yeah.
So, and
also, don't get me started on this, but why are not refs full-time officials? You know, why don't they work full-time for the National Football League? Because it would cost too much, right?
No, it won't cost too much. It'll cost more than what they're willing to pay.
Yeah.
We Skip now. You know, it's all about, I don't mind paying you a little bit, but I need to get a lot back.
Yep. So if you want to be a lawyer in your free time,
go right ahead. Go right ahead. But I'm going to need you, on Saturday nights before the game. I need you to go back over and scout and do all that instead of doing this full time. Because imagine if football players were part-time employees. Skip.
Just show up on Sunday.
I worked at I worked at the stock, the house or something, warehouse.
Okay.
No. But Skip, this is asking too much. You're going to open up Pandora's box. You don't want to go there. I know, Skip, I know it's fresh in our minds now. See, I don't believe that something that was missed, it's like almost like you're going to do something, you're going to arrest me for a crime that wasn't a crime in which I did it 2 years later. So you want to go back for something that you didn't call, and all of a sudden a coach should be able to challenge it, even though it wasn't called on the field, it was missed.
Well,
no.
2 years later, happened at that moment.
They missed it.
Yeah, and everybody in the world believes they missed it.
Yeah, they did.
There was no gray area to this.
No question, they missed
this
it.
is one of the rare controversial calls that doesn't have another side to it, right? It's one side. It's wrong, wrong, wrong. And it virtually decided that I can't give you 100%, but I can give you 98%.
Everything fell on the human side, which this official is, and the human element. He made a mistake. He didn't blow his whistle when he should have.
So to err is human, to forgive is divine. So you're just forgiving. So you're divine, right? So you forgive.
And I don't like that Miss Benson. She talking about integrity. Do she actually think that these officials went into the game and really tried to rob her team, Skip?
I'm sure a lot of people who bet on the game thought that.
And some of the casinos and some of the they gave their money back.
They did. They didn't give money back. They gave them like a free bet, you know, like another bet.
Oh no, I want no free bet. I want that cheese back. Give me my cheese.
Well, whatever. So you brought up a couple times this week, there was that call in the World Series. I was there that night in Kansas City. It was St. Louis, Kansas City, Denkinger at first base, and he clearly blew the call. Well, at least baseball, it took a long time, but at least now that can't happen anymore. They can actually
What about Jim Joyce?
say, let's go to the review.
What about Jim Joyce ruins Galarraga perfect game?
Right? Well,
what was that, Skip?
Well, they can correct that now.
They didn't. What you mean now? I lost a perfect game.
All right, I'm just saying, at least now it's correctable. In the NFL, it is not correctable. Right now, that could happen again this next Super Bowl Sunday. That could happen. There's a big loophole in the way the game is officiated where you can't get that one back. Human error can decide the Super Bowl champion.
I'm sure.
Do you like that?
I'm sure, Skip, they'll be in these guys'